KHOU 11 News at 6 starts now.
Chaos at the Astroworld Festival. Fans trampled in a stampede as the gates open, and HPD calls for extra officers for security. A 3-year-old killed and another child injured in what is being called a drunk driving crash. Now deputies say the children's own mother is to blame. And a heartwarming surprise, a little Astros fan recovering from severe burns, speechless after meeting his hero, Jose Altuve. But first, HPD is bringing in more officers to help control crowds at the big Astroworld Music Festival happening right now at NRG Park. More than 50,000 fans of Houston rapper Travis Scott are there for the festival's second year. You can see here eager fans rushing through barricades when the gates opened at noon. The stampede led to at least 3 people being taken to the hospital for knee injuries after being trampled. And David Gonzalez is there with a look at how things are going now. David.
Travis Scott has such a big cult following that this Astroworld Festival was sold out even before the lineup was announced. It's the hottest ticket in town, and fans are doing whatever they can to be here. Check out this video from earlier today. The video shows the chaos leading up to the gates opening, fans rushing the gates to be one of the first ones into the festival. Houston police say the event was understaffed and they called in more police officers. They say promoters didn't plan well enough for the large crowds. And at one point, we're hearing that they needed up to 75 more officers. Police have also caught people with bolt cutters and other tools trying to cut their way through the fences to get into Astroworld. But depending on who you talk to, things are going great.
That's the thing about Travis Scott. It's a big family environment. Everyone's here for one reason and one reason only, to rage. Well, 2 reasons. One reason to rage and have a good time. That's it. Those 2 reasons.
As of right now, police have arrested just 1 person for public intoxication. And as the sun goes down, some of the biggest headliners are still going to take the stage. HPD says they're working with the promoters to ensure that everyone has a happy and memorable Astroworld. Ron, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, David Gonzalez at NRG. Well, it was great weather for the festival. Cool and plenty of sunshine. Hopefully fans brought their jackets, though, because it's going to be a chilly night out there, and it's only going to get colder next week. Let's check in with Blake Matthews. Hey, Blake.
Hey, Ron. Yeah, you're right. It looks like we've got the coldest weather of the season on the way heading into next week. In the meantime, a beautiful evening out here across the city of Houston. Current temperature 54 degrees to get you started here on this Saturday night. It's still holding on to 60 degrees out there in Brenham and 61 in El Campo. 62 degrees, the warm spot it appears at Hobby Airport, 57 now at Livingston, and 53 chilly degrees up there in Conroe. We still have these northerly winds coming in, supplying that relatively cool, dry air. Across the southeast Texas, really not much going on, and across the entire state of Texas and most of the country, not really seeing much at all in the way of active weather. Temperatures are going to continue to be the big story, especially as we get into early next week with our first Arctic front of the season making its way through the country. 38 right now in Bismarck, 27 in International Falls, 50 in Little Rock, 46 degrees there in Tuscaloosa. So all those fans are mighty cold. All right, it is 8 below 0 right now in Old Crow, 0 in Yellowknife. So you'll see the cold air is building here across northern Canada, and that is going to break free and slide right down through a major chunk of the country. In fact, taking a look at the future track, you'll notice follow these pinks here that just continue to just overtake much of the country. There's the leading edge of the front right there, 37 in Dallas Monday at 10 o'clock versus 61 here in Houston. And it does appear that that front is going to be a little faster than this model is indicating. So we're looking for that front to come through here sometime late Monday afternoon. But look at the temperatures behind it. We're talking about 15 degrees in Chicago getting into Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, 8 in Minneapolis, 15 in Omaha. This is very, very impressive. If this was January, we'd be seeing temperatures way below 0 across a huge chunk of the country. So that is the only saving grace that we see right now. Now, as we get into Tuesday afternoon, look at our temperature here at Houston, 43 degrees heading into the afternoon, 22 in Des Moines, only 29 degrees there in Nashville. So here's how it all plays out. That front going to race on through our area. Showers and thunderstorms out ahead of it. This takes us into Tuesday morning. The front will be off the coast as a very strong ridge of high pressure builds into the state of Texas. What that's going to do is be the conveyor belt to drive all this cold air in here and bring us possibly our first freeze. So we're talking about I-10 northward, 28 to 32 degrees. Metro Houston, 31 to 33. So right there at freezing in the coastal counties. If you're in the northern parts of those counties, we're talking about 32, 33, 38 degrees down there on Galveston Island itself. So here's how it all plays out. Watch up to the north. There's our front trying to work its way in. and it slides right down. Look at this. At 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday, you'll notice it is pushing through Huntsville into College Station and just to the west of Brenham, and eventually that will work its way through the Houston area as well. The best chance of freezing temperatures, we're talking 20s and lower 30s, going to be for our northern counties. This pink line, I think, is where the freeze line will be. So I think if you're downtown, Sugarland, right there along this I-69-59 corridor and northward, that's where we're going to see some of those freezing temperatures. Here's a look at some of those numbers. 27 in Conroe, 30 in the Woodlands. Keep in mind this is for Wednesday morning. 30 in Hempstead, 28 in Huntsville. Now here along the I-10-59 corridor, 31 downtown, 33 in Pearland, 39 degrees on Galveston Island, 29 in Liberty, and 31 degrees out there in Wharton. For tonight, temperatures cooling on down, not as cold as last night. Overnight last night we got down to 41. Tomorrow morning, we're waking up to about 47. Those temperatures are going to quickly jump up into the 70s, it looks like, heading into tomorrow afternoon before they cool back down again heading into the overnight hours. All right, so here you go. 74 degrees heading into your Sunday, 76 degrees on Monday, strong front pushing through. Tuesday, we're in the refrigerator, 46 for a high. Same on Wednesday after a morning start of 31, and then slowly warming it up as we get into next weekend run, shaping up to be a very pretty weekend indeed.
All right, thank you so much, Blake. And remember, when you're on the go this weekend, you can check the weather in your neighborhood with live radars on the KHOU app. A 3-year-old boy is dead. His mother charged with murder. Police say she was driving drunk and crashed in South Houston this morning. Police say the mother, Crystal Gonzalez, is in critical condition, and her other son, an 8-year-old, was also hurt. Chris Costa looks into the charges she's facing.
The little boy died.
Karen Marin is just getting the news that her neighbor was allegedly drunk behind the wheel in a crash Saturday morning.
She's a great mom. We see her all the time. I'm just totally in shock that this happened. This is not like her.
Initial reports show Gonzalez was drunk at roughly 3 times the legal limit when she crashed into a median on Makawa Road around 5:45. Her 3-year-old son was killed. Police say his car seat was too small and not buckled correctly.
You know, you drive a little faster to the scene. You know that you're coming up on one of the biggest tragedies that you're ever going to experience.
The Harris County District Attorney's Office charged Gonzalez with felony murder and intoxication assault because the kids were in the car. Police said Gonzalez also vomited pills at the scene.
I can't fathom losing a child. I'm a father. I certainly can't fathom losing a child at my own hand. So at the end of the day, the punishment for her that can be meted out by the state is certainly different and probably can't ever rise to the punishment of what she's already suffered.
The latest numbers from the DA's office show more than 13,000 DWI cases in the county this year, with 24 intoxication manslaughters and 67 intoxication assaults. Gonzalez's case will add to that list with another devastating outcome.
I can only imagine what that family's going through. It's a lesson to be learned. I'm sure she's regretting every action that she made last night. She's going to have a long time to think about this.
In South Houston, Chris Costa, KHOU 11 News.
What a horrible case. Now here's a look at the other stories we're following tonight. First, today the MALEAH Davis Memorial Bridge was unveiled in Arkansas. The bridge is near the spot where her body was found back in May. The 4-year-old was reported missing earlier this year, sparking an extensive search. Her stepfather, Darian Vence, is charged in her death. A pilot was able to walk away without injuries after deputies say his plane crashed in North Harris County. The FAA says the small plane took off from Hooks Airport this morning when the pilot reported a loss of power. It made a hard landing in an open field off the Grand Parkway and FM 2920, not far from the airport. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says the crash may have been the result of engine failure. And number 3, today President Trump stopped in Tuscaloosa for the Alabama-LSU game. You saw it right here on KHOU 11. He was joined by First Lady Melania as well as several lawmakers from Alabama and Louisiana. Earlier in the day, he took aim at the impeachment hearings set to start next week and suggested he may put out a White House summary of a second call to Ukraine's president on Tuesday. The House Intelligence Committee will hold its first open hearings Wednesday morning. We'll carry it live at 8:55 right here on KHOU, as well as Friday's hearing and on our website, khou.com. Tonight we want to salute Jose Altuve for standing for Houston. He surprised this cute little fan. The little boy is in Galveston getting treatment after he was severely burned in a gas explosion in Panama earlier this year. Altuve is from the boy's home country of Venezuela, so no surprise, Altuve is his favorite player. The second baseman sent him an Astros shirt, but that's not all. Wow, how awesome is that? The boy's family shared this video on Instagram of the Astros superstar surprising his biggest fan. Clearly he was in shock and speechless at first, but that didn't take long for him to realize that Altuve was there. He played ball with him and even gave him a special Astros World Series cap. The family said this gives the boy a lot of power to keep moving forward in his recovery, and this is why we literally love Jose Altuve. Hey, that's going to do it for us from this webcast. For all the good folks here at KHOU, I'm Ron Trevino. We're standing for Houston, and we're back tonight at 10 o'clock on TV.